We are moving on to Flash Forward, ABC's new...
Flashing forward?
Flashing forward. We're going to flash forward. Actually, you guys have probably already seen this because when you guys passed out, all of you,
this is what you saw,
was this part of the segment. So Flash Forward follows Joseph Fiennes and John Cho from Star Trek, and a sort of myriad of other people. Penny from Lost is actually on there. Ian, what's his butt? The guy from Lord of the Rings and Lost, who played Charlie on Lost, is also going to be on. Ian something or other. He's also going to be on the show. So there's even crossover between actors. Dominic Monaghan. What was I saying, Ian?
I don't know.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So there's even crossover on this sort of Lost thing, and it's produced and created by David Goyer, who co-wrote The Dark Knight. Or did he write it?
He co-wrote Batman Begins and Dark Knight.
And Dark Knight,
and
but
Blade.
Also Blade, and directed Blade 3.
Right.
And Brandon Braga, who is has been a producer on Star Trek, on a lot of the different Star Trek series. He was I think an associate producer, a series producer on Star Trek Next Generation, was a producer on Voyager and Deep Space Nine, and then also was a producer on the Star Trek movie. So he's a big Star Trek guy. Have put together this show, and the concept is there was a moment in time at which every single person on the planet passed out for 137 seconds. And in that pass out, every single one of them saw 6 months into the future while they were unconscious of what they were going to be doing exactly 6 months in the future. And so it's this who done it kind of
why done it,
what done, what does it mean, is it actually the future, or was it just sort of mass consciousness? Basically it follows these FBI agents trying to solve what it is that happened, as well as a few other characters and sort of their experiences around it. Big undertaking. Daniel, what did you think of Flash Forward?
Well, first things first, Shakespeare in Love is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I've been wondering what the heck happened to that awesome dude who played Shakespeare, and he's been in a few things. But
Ralph Fiennes' brother. Yeah. Come on, do something.
So it was a joy to see him on TV, although, or a joy to see him on a thing I'm watching. Not loving his character yet. John Cho, I think, is great on the show. I love the premise, love the ideas, find some of the ideas that it's exploring interesting, wishing it was exploring other things, though it has plenty of time to do that. I feel, though, that a lot like Lost, it's a show, and how I felt about Battlestar, is that it's only as good as its plot for that week, whereas other shows, my favorites, are generally, the plot is cool when it's cool, but all I care about is all these characters and how they're enmeshed with one another.
Right.
So it's only doing the one thing for me, and I'm not loving it yet. I'm interested to see more, just because it's got such a WTF premise.
Yeah.
That I just kind of want to.
The face.
Yeah.
Why that face?
Beyond that premise, I'm not very interested.
Okay. What do you think as far as the production sort of quality?
Very hot for television. It's extremely well done.
Okay, that's all I need.
Yeah.
Jeffrey.
I'm very mixed about this. The first episode, I really got the uh-oh feeling, and it just didn't work for me. But the second episode, I was hooked. And I think it worked. It was mostly because it really kind of got to the meat of the ramifications of what this might mean to people seeing 6 months in the future. It really completely changes the fabric of interpersonal relations, of how one lives one's life. If you've seen what you're doing in 6 months, and it's wonderful, the little bits where the show delves into those philosophical implications, and that's where the show really flies for me. Also, the brilliant hook of what is all this, and there's a thing at the end of the second episode where they show you a clip from a baseball stadium, and that moment I was like, oh, I gotta watch this show. Fortunately, the third and fourth episodes, which I've seen now, felt a little slow, a little plodding, and I'm worried that the show is going to get bogged down in its own
Stink.
Well, and it's you know, and I don't really want to see a medical drama encased in this show, you know, which kind of is happening a little bit.
Yeah.
I really want those ideas to be fleshed out. I'm really sticking with it. Last night, the fourth episode came on, and I was really excited to see it. So judging by that, I think I'm going to keep watching, and I just hope it doesn't come out so slowly, the revelations to come out so slowly.
Yeah, I didn't really care for this series. I'm going to continue watching it because I fear it's going to be one of those things where there is going to be an episode in like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, that everybody is going to be talking about.
Yeah.
That's
my fear. That's why I'm watching it too.
And that's why I'm going to continue watching it, because it's like, I know what's going to happen, but most of the stuff, you know, the interpersonal stuff that's going on, I'm like snooze fest. I'm fast forwarding through scenes that are like, you know, it's those like the stadium shot moments. That is the only reason I watch this show.
Crows.
The problem is the crows.
Yeah.
The problem is those moments are 5 minutes out of a 55-minute TV series. So I feel like I have to bear through a lot of stuff to get to that good nuggets of fun sci-fi stuff. But again, you heard it here first. In 3-4 weeks, all your friends are gonna be talking about that crazy ass stuff that went down on FlashForward. So stick with it.
To further articulate what I was saying before, it's like my fear is that in the writers' room for this show, they're talking about, and then what if it's this, and then what if it's that, and da-da-da-da. Whereas I feel like the writers' rooms of my favorite shows, it says, and then Mal and Jane, they don't get along, and then Landry and da-da-da, they're gonna have a thing. It's like they're talking about people and characters and how they are happening.
Yeah.
Whereas opposed to this, like, because the things that we're talking about, things that I talk about, and we recently got hooked on Friday Night Lights, we're talking about, and then when he did that, you know, and this show, the things we're talking about is crows.
Yeah.
Baseball stadium.
But there's a certain joy in just figuring it out that I think is keeping me in.
We're going to have to see how it goes.
Same thing with Battlestar, by the way.
Both of them a little iffy, but we got to watch more. What up, TV?